Welcome back. Here is our next case study from CA Final Paper 3 ICA booklet on MCQs and case-based scenarios. Case study number 23. Mr. I was appointed as statutory auditor of Messrs. New Limited and Messrs. Old Limited. Both the companies were having their base in Chennai. They had recently listed their shares on the stock exchange. For the financial year 2021, Mr. I had signed limited review reports for each quarter till the quarter ended 31st of December 2020 for both the companies, owing to his personal commitments and increased workload. He asked the company to appoint another auditor to issue audit report for the remaining quarter and for the financial year 2021 as a whole. But the management of the company did not accept the same. They argued that it's the legal responsibility of Mr. I to do the same. After a long discussion, the issue was settled. However, Mr. I continued to act as an auditor of Messrs. Old Limited. During the first week of March 2021, Mrs. W, wife of Mr. I, had borrowed a sum of 6 lakh from the company for her personal use. Having come to know about this, Mr. I immediately informed the management that he has been disqualified to act as an auditor and told them that he won't issue audit report for last quarter. But once again, the management of the company did not accept the same. They argued that it's the legal responsibility of Mr. I to do the same. After a long discussion, the issue was settled. Apart from the above assignments, Mr. I was engaged in the audits as well. Internal audit of Messrs. ABC Private Limited, registration of RCO Trust, which was started on 31st of December 2020. He also took the tax audit assignment for the same. Statutory audit of Messrs. CFBN Private Limited, a non-banking financial company for the financial year 2021. During the course of the audit, there was a difference of opinion between the auditor and the management of the company with respect to inclusion of following items in the calculation of net owned funds of the company. However, the issue was settled later. What were the items that need to be included in this in net owned funds of CFBN is non-convertible preference share capital of 10 lakhs, investment of 3 lakhs in shares of Messrs. Loan Private Limited and NBFC, balance in revaluation reserve of 6 lakh, deferred revenue expenditure of 3 lakhs. Mr. J, friend of Mr. I, a CA in practice, invited Mr. I to set up a network firm along with 2 more friends. All the 4 auditors agreed to the same and decided to start a network firm for the network firm by the name Messrs. JI and Co. However, one of the auditors suggested that they cannot use the term and Co and it needs to be changed. But Mr. J informed that there is no such regulation regarding the firm's name. After further discussion, a suitable name in accordance with the provisions of CA Act and regulations was accepted by all the 4 partners. Based on the above facts, answer the following. So this was the case study which we need to answer based on the questions that were given in MCQs. Question number 23.1. Is the management of Messrs. New Limited right in asking Mr. I to issue audit report for the last quarter and for financial year 2021 as a whole, despite his resignation? What could be the reason for the same? So before answering this question, I would like you to go through one of the screenshot that I have taken from ICS study material. Let me just open it. Yes, here it goes. It is relating to the resignation of auditor in a listed company. Let's go through this flowchart once. The heading says all listed entities or material subsidiaries, while appointing or reappointing an auditor, should ensure the following. Okay, should ensure a compliance with, if the auditor resigns within 45 days from the end of quarter, then a quarter of the financial year, then the auditor shall, before such resignation, issue a limited review or audit report for such quarter. Okay, so if he is resigning within 45 days from the end of quarter, then with that quarter and till that quarter he should give his limited review. If it is beyond 45 days from the end of quarter, then he need to give audit report or limited review report for the quarter that has been completed and the ongoing quarter. Okay, it says if the auditor resigns after 45 days from the end of quarter of a financial year, then the auditor shall, before such resignation, issue the limited review or audit report for such quarter as well as the next quarter. Okay. What happened if he resigns after the first 3 quarters and wherein he has issued a limited review or an audit report for those 3 quarters? It means the auditor has resigned in the last quarter. If the auditor has signed the limited review or audit report for the first 3 quarters of the financial year, then auditor shall, before such resignation, issue the limited review or audit report for the last quarter of such financial year as well as the audit report of such financial year. So if he is resigning in the last quarter, then he need to give audit report or limited review report for such quarter, I mean the fourth quarter which he is resigning, and also for the entire year. So this is what the compliance that we need to check with this question. Let's go through the question. With options we'll finalize. See here also Mr. I has resigned during the last quarter and the management is asking him to issue an audit report for the financial year 2021 as a whole. Let's just go through the options. Can he give so? Yes, the management is right in asking the auditor to issue an audit report for the whole year and also the last quarter. Let's go through the options. So the question is the management's intention right? So we should say only those options where we can see that the management intention is correct. Okay. Option A says no. Option A says that the contention of the management is not correct. Is that so? No. Since we have gone through the compliance that we need to check, wherein we understood that auditor has to give a report for the entire financial year if he is resigning in the last quarter. And therefore, even in the question, the management is asking for the same. Therefore, the management is correct. As a result of which, option A is wrong. And also, option C is also wrong. Okay. So, we need to check within option B and option D. Is the auditor resigned within 45 days from the end of quarter or after 45 days from the end of quarter? Such information has not been given to us. But what we know is he has resigned in the last quarter of the financial year. Option D says, yes, Mr. I is responsible to issue audit report for the last quarter as well as the financial year 2021. Since he was the one who had issued the same for the first 3 quarters. He is also obligated to issue audit report for the financial year as a whole if he resigns during the last quarter. So the question is speaking about the auditor resignation in the last quarter, and also the answer has to be to that point only. Therefore, option D is the correct option. Hope you are clear with this point. And the same logic applies to the next questions also. We'll look at them as we go progress. Question number 23.2. From the aspect of SEBI LODR regulations and the recent circular on resignation of statutory auditors from listed entities, is the management of Messrs. Old Limited right in asking Mr. I to issue audit report for the last quarter? What could be the reason for the same? What we have observed about Messrs. Old Limited is, let's quickly go through the question. We have observed that wife of Mr. I, see the last paragraph. Wife of Mr. I has borrowed a sum of 6 lakh from the company. The company means here Messrs. Old Limited. And therefore the indebtedness by the auditor and his relatives, partners, whoever are dependent upon him is getting to, therefore the indebtedness is more than 5 lakhs. As a result of which the auditor is disqualified under section 141 of the Companies Act and he cannot issue an audit report to this effect to the financial year 2021 of Messrs. Old Limited. Let me just quickly take you through the that screenshot of that point. Let me just go through. Give me a second. Yes, here is the point from our study material. See, it is speaking about section 141 of Companies Act. This is from a company audit study material. wherein it is saying if an auditor is indebted to the company or its subsidiary or its holding or an associate company or a subsidiary of such holding company in excess of rupees 5 lakhs, or has given a guarantee and provided any security in connection with the indebtedness of any third person of the company or its subsidiary or its holding or an associate or subsidiary of such holding company in excess of 1 lakh. So it is speaking about giving guarantee of exceeding 1 lakh and indebted to the company exceeding 5 lakh rupees. In the current scenario, the auditor, in fact, the wife of Mr. I, who is a statutory auditor of Messrs. Old Limited, is indebted to the company for more than 6 lakh rupees, and therefore auditor is disqualified from being acting as a statutory auditor, and hence he cannot give an audit report as required by management of Messrs. Old Limited. Okay. Is the management contention right? No. So we'll straightforward identify an option wherein we find no is the correct option. So option B says no, since he is disqualified under section 141 of Companies Act, the provisions are not applicable, and therefore option B is the correct option. What other options are saying? Yes, the auditor can issue an audit report, which is wrong. Therefore option A, C, D are wrong. The correct answer is option B. Let's go through the next question. Question number 23.3. Which of the names should be suitable to the newly started network firm in accordance with the provisions of Chartered Accountant Act and regulation? So this is a straightforward question from our professional ethics chapter. See, here it is. Approval of name of network amongst firms registered with institute. The network may have distinct name which should be approved by the institute. To distinguish a network from a firm of chartered accountants, the words and affiliates should be used after the name of network, and the words and co or and associate should not be used. Okay, and therefore here the company has started, these people has started a network firm, and therefore they should use and affiliates. So the option is option D, JI and affiliates, because the institute wants the other outsiders to clearly distinguish a difference between a network firm and a firm. A firm will use and co and associates as its as a part of its name, and since this is a network firm, it has to use and affiliates as a part of its name. Therefore option D is the correct option. We'll go through the next question, 23.4. Within which date should the registration of RCO trust should be done, and what is the form in which tax audit report for the same has to be issued? So we are clearly known that trust will be issued on a tax audit report in form 10B, and also the registration has to be completed within a period of 1 year, and therefore since the question is saying that the registration of RCO has started on 31st of December 2020, it should complete by 31st of December 2021, and the tax audit report should be in form 10B. Therefore option C is the correct option. The registration before 31st of December 2021, tax audit report in form 10B. Therefore option C is the correct option. You might be wondering where is that 2021. Just check out the answers wherein it has been clearly given that 2021 has been there. There is a misprint in the question, and therefore option C, registration has to be completed before 31st of December 2021, and the tax audit report has to be in form 10B. That's all. We have completed case study number 23. With this we have completed 23 case studies, and we'll be uploading the other case studies at the earliest. Thanks for watching. If you find these videos helpful, please do like, share and subscribe. To share with your friends and help them to revise at the earliest. That's all for today.